Hey guys, Tony Stokes from Leisure Canine here. I want to talk about e-collar. Specifically, we're going to talk about the 5 rules for e-collar training. So, rule number 1, train your dog without the tool first. So, the remote collar or e-collar, whatever you want to call it, is actually meant to enhance training, not do the training, right? So the tool itself will not train your dog. You still have to teach your dog all the things you want, the obedience, like everything that's important that you want to use the e-collar to reinforce. You have to train the dog first without the tool before ever using the tool. Rule number 2. What we call habituation, kind of a fancy term for just letting the dog get used to wearing it. When you're going to get involved into e-collar training, it's important to just put the collar on the dog, let them see the remote, do normal things with them. Don't just put it on them and start using it right away. Let them wear it. Don't even turn it on for several days or, if you can, a week or two. And let them get familiar with wearing it so that it doesn't become this suspicious tool that got put on them and it started getting used right away, and then it becomes a negative thing to them potentially. We like to call it habituation. Just let the dog get used to it. Rule number 3, condition and teach the dog. So don't just put it on and start correcting them for things. There's a lot of value in conditioning the tool properly and not just going right into what we call avoidance training, where you're punishing them for mistakes or punishing them for doing things you don't want them doing. Teach the dog the tool on low levels, and it becomes way more valuable to you than just putting it on the dog and giving them a lot of corrections or interruptions and just trying to use it as an attention-getting tool or a tool of threat. All right, number 4, make it enjoyable to get the collar on, right? So a lot of times people tend to put the collar on when the dog has made mistakes, right? And this is after you've already worked them and conditioned them, and but now you're like, oh shoot, better put the collar on because they're not listening. It shouldn't be this negative event all the time that when they start making mistakes, we put the collar on them. It's put the collar on them and play ball. Put the collar on them and go for a walk, and you don't have to use it right away all the time, and let them wear it quite a bit. And more often than not, you really don't end up using it. If your training was done, really well, it becomes a tool that you can use to help develop off-leash reliability in areas that are challenging. But it shouldn't just be getting put on them when they're making mistakes. It should get put on them. They should do fun things and enjoy having the tool getting put on them. Number 5, don't buy cheap collars. Is really important that you buy something of quality, not just because it's going to last you longer, but because it's more consistent and fine-tuned for the dog, so that you get the most out of your e-collar training. I have Dogtra collars here next to me. That's my preferred brand. There's a couple other companies out there that make decent collars, but you want something that's going to be quality, reliable. Don't be buying $50 e-collars from Amazon or the pet stores. Go out, spend a couple $100, $150, even you can get some decent collars in that price range, and that will actually carry a lot further. You won't be replacing the tool. It'll work for you. It won't fail as often as some of these cheaper tools. So to keep it simple, just make sure you do your homework before getting into e-collar training. Don't just go out and buy one and look at the instruction manual a little bit. Make sure you're learning from a professional if you have to. If you are good enough to study an online course, there's plenty of those available. There's books available for e-collar training. So make sure you're getting a quality source of information for training your dog with an e-collar, so that things go smoothly and your dog enjoys the training as well.